and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It's Tuesday and you're here. I'm glad. I'm here too. It is going to be a fabulous show because we're going to be talking about energy today. That's kind of become my favorite subject here. Jocelyn, Catherine, so glad to have you here. Last week, as you might remember, we had the show on Monday because Tuesday was my birthday and I had a little time off and did some fun things with some girlfriends and what have you. And today we are back on our usual schedule, having our shows on Tuesday. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here live. This is where it gets really fun. So our supplements, you probably saw the announcement. I announced it also on the show last Monday. I announced that we have made this decision. And by the way, y'all, it's taken me a year to make a decision to stop selling supplements. That is correct. I mean, stopping 100%, completely stopping. So why this is important to you is because we're blowing those supplements out of the water. Yes, we are. And, there's a lot, you have no idea. Some of these are my babies and saying goodbye to them. I'm like, no, come back to me. You understand, right? We get attached to things and we see things. We see things in a way that makes us think, this is something I created. I want to hold on to this. I want to make this happen. And sometimes there is another plan afoot. And that's where I am right now. It is believing that saying no to one thing is saying yes to something else. When we let go of something, especially when we're holding so tightly onto it, we then have the ability to say yes to other things. And it's funny, I've had some, I've got I've had one important meeting, I've had another two coming up. As soon as the day after I said, okay, that's it, and I announced it, then I had these 3 meetings. So isn't that interesting? And I'll tell you all about them when it's time. There's our girl Tanya, by the way. Hello, hello. I'm glad you're here, Tanya. So as you know, the supplements are going, and I will say we've had a good run. We have some exciting supplements, some things that I had the privilege of actually formulating myself. And, I would definitely grab a whole bunch of that stuff because nobody else makes it. I'm talking about Crave Water and I'm talking about Over 40 Water. You won't find them anywhere else. So if you want to wipe us out, feel free. The more you buy, the more you're going to save. You're going to save up to 50%. Okay. And I would be watching my email if I were you because fun things are coming up. I'm going to be doing this until we blow it all out. I don't want anything sitting on that shelf. Okay? Just telling you, we have them, we're selling them. savingdinner.com/show. You guys have put a big dent in our inventory, but we still have some left. I would get stocked up. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So that's really, really important. And let's see, did I have another announcement that if you are a part of the Recreate Your Life, we are doing our book tonight. So I'm really excited about that. Recreate Your Life club is tonight. That's our book club. And that is exciting. It will be happening tonight. So don't forget, it's at 7 p.m. You have an invitation that's been sent to you. You have a hot seat application. So it's not too late to get your hot seats in. Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget, because that's tonight, and that's starting our quarter to take back or recreate your life book club. I really love our book club, by the way. It's pretty incredible. Our quote of the week is, "You cannot plow a field by turning it over in your mind." I love that so much. To begin, begin. And how often, honestly, do we need to be told this? I need to be told this all the time. The reason I need to be told this all the time is because sometimes I live in my mind, I don't live in my life. And I'm making that point by telling you how long it took me to get to this place of saying goodbye to supplements. A lot of times what we're looking at is, instead of a new beginning, we look at something and say that was a failure. I learned something, though, major from these supplements. I learned several things. One, the creativity of them and being able to produce them and create something that could make a woman feel better. I am just in love with that. And I also have started to see, we started it a while ago, but I'm starting to see it all over now, are these drinks, these drink mixes that have things in them that will do something for you. That's why I love Crave Water. That's why I love Over 40 Water. Both of those have the ability to really move the needle and get the job done. Okay. So that's a couple of things. The other thing that I look at the supplement, with the lessons learned, is that is a whole heck of a lot more complicated than I thought it was. And then as you go along, there are so many mitigating circumstances. I mean, we had to deal with all the time changing algorithms with social media. That's part and parcel. But when you're a small shop, it's a lot because you're trying to keep up with that. And then when your manufacturer can't keep up with you, there is this back and forth that makes things a little bit crazy. But you know what the good thing is that I had this experience, and coming away from it, I have great appreciation for the manufacturing process. I have great appreciation for good, clean materials and good, clean manufacturing practices, because there's a lot of garbage out there. And a lot of you have asked me, what are you going to recommend when you pull the plug on all of this, Leanne? And if I can ask for your patience, I have some ideas. I'm putting together a list. And if you will just stay with me for a little bit, and in the meantime, go ahead and clean me out. Okay. Is that a deal? Savingdinner.com/show. That's where you're going to find all of them. I'm going to take good care of you. Oh, and one more thing. Next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, we are having a live selling event. What does that mean? Well, have you ever been to QVC? Have you ever watched QVC? I was on QVC like 4 or 5 times. I don't even remember. But it is when you're selling something live on TV and it gets better and better. What we do, which is really, really cool, is we take, like if you're buying something, I might say, well, if you get that now, I've got these cool mugs. I'm going to send all 3 of those mugs to you right now, blah, blah, blah. So all kinds of fun stuff. I want you to participate. Tanya, you too, you can participate if you don't mind paying the postage way up there in Canada. You know, I wish that they didn't have such craziness with, I mean, it's just a border. It's just right there. You're right by Montana, for heaven's sake. So, I mean, how isn't it? Aren't you right by Montana? Joey said she's going to hold her horses. Hey, Joey, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're going to hold your horses. So if everybody knows Joey and I did our video, if you remember, at Whole Foods. We were working with Whole Foods for a little while, and we did a lot of videos and what have you. We did, our big video that we did was for my part-time paleo book, and we went through and did a whole shopping tour. It was so much fun. Your order is on the way already? Good. I'm so glad. Patience is our friend, and it's going to, I promise you, it is going to be worth your while. I promise. We're almost there. Okay. So you've got that. And I want to talk about our energy tonight because yeah, it was. I know it did seem like yesterday, but it wasn't. Do you know how long ago that was, Joey? I think it was 2014. Isn't that scary? Yeah. Those are in the good old days when Whole Foods was Whole Foods, not Amazon. And I was doing a whole lot of work with them. Um, but it all changed when Amazon bought them. Happens. It happens. But there's some cool stuff coming up, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Oh, and by the way, our Dinner Answers, if you're not familiar, Dinner Answers is, I think it's our legacy product that we have created. It's a digital menu planning system that is available at savingdinner.com as well. It's the whole way. That's the reason we started Saving Dinner in the whole, in the first place, way back in 2001. 10% of what we make, as far as the monies that come from that particular product, goes to Meals on Wheels America. And I say this because a lot of their funding is getting pulled, and we need to be supporting somebody who's going around and feeding the elderly who are shut in and disabled. This is an important thing. So just remember this: when you subscribe to Dinner Answers, you're helping to support Meals on Wheels. And that's near and dear to my heart. I've been a champion, also known as spokesperson, with them since 2014. Okay. And there's more to come on that too. And I will share that with you as I have the information available. Meanwhile, we're going to be talking about our energy mindset today. This is something that is so near and dear to my heart because I have been throttling my poor heart, my poor body, with a lot of physical activity. I'm getting ready for tournament season. I've got a tournament coming up in just a couple of, well, I've actually got one coming up next weekend. And then we're going full blast ahead. I've got lots of tournaments coming up. So in order to be competitive and in order to be able to get out there and do the thing, besides being physically fit and knowing having my skills and all of the rest of it, I need to have an energy mindset that says, even in this heat, I'm going to keep up. Because I want you to look at how we can make our bodies power plants and stop thinking about ourselves as energy, as just little batteries, because we're not. Hello there, Martha. Martha's in the house, y'all. So here's something that I want to make really, really clear, because this is something where we get just absolutely wiped out. Okay. And that is this: we think that energy is something that you have. And I say to you, that's wrong. It's something you generate. Isn't that exciting? Because if we look at it as something that we have, then if we have, like, just a piddly amount of energy and we're just holding it like this going, "Pff, really? That's it? That's all I have?" We do not have what we should have. And our bodies are going, "Oh yeah, that's not a lot and we can't do anything." And then we think, boy, we're limited because of all the energy that we have. Wrong. We can generate it. And I want you to hold that thought for a minute because it is super exciting. I'm not giving you a bunch of motivational fluff here, I promise you. I'm talking biology. Yeah, we're going to talk mitochondria, you know that. But listen, you've been in the place where you've just woken up and you're thinking, there's not enough coffee to make me feel human again, or you're crashing by 3 o'clock, or you crave sugar or a bunch of, wicked carbs or whatever. I'm going to tell you that's not character flaw, and stop beating yourself up. What's going on is that you have a system breakdown. What's going on is you have something that is fixable, and it's something that your body is screaming at you and saying, "Get over here. Let's fix this." So remember, I said it's a mindset, because part of it is, but it's also biology. And when we can bring them both together, this is where the real magic happens. Now, we have an energy course, right? Take Back Your Energy. It's a phenomenal course. If you haven't gone through it, it's 8 weeks. It's led by you, right? You do it at your own self-led pace. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to give you things that are not, like eat right, exercise, make sure you get good sleep. It's going to have, of course, it's going to have those elements in there, but there's other surprising things in there. because oftentimes what's going on, is a nervous system reset. So we'll talk about that. Well, that's in the course, but let's talk about how we can flip the script right now. Okay. So if we stop thinking about ourselves as batteries that get run down all day and then we got to recharge them at night, because that is an easy way to think about it. If we instead look at ourselves as being power plants, that is a system that creates energy on demand as it's needed. And so if we can give the right inputs, then we can create the right outputs. Isn't that right, my Nancy? Mother hens in the house, y'all. Cheers to you. I don't, I came downstairs and I forgot my drink, my hot milk mix. Bah. Anyway, it's upstairs and I'm looking forward to it when I get back up there. So this is exciting because this shift in mindset is everything. This shift in mindset gives us the ability to see ourselves in a completely different way and without the limitations that we put on ourselves when we say, oh, well, I'm just out of energy and I just can't create enough and I'm limited and this is that. It's not true. And so I want to talk about the science about that. And this is where we're going to get into the mitochondria. About the mitochondria. I have a recipe, Mighty Mitochondria Soup, because it's so green. Green vegetables is a natural food for mitochondria. Mitochondria are the little power plants that are inside of every single cell inside your body. There isn't one cell in your body that doesn't have a mitochondria. And if they are active, if they are doing a good job and energized, guess what else is? That cell is. And guess what happens there? Can you see it? Boom. Your whole body is energized. So this is exciting. So this is what they do, by the way. They take your food, your oxygen, your movement, and your mindset, by the way, and they convert them into this thing called ATP. And that is pure usable energy, right? And right, that soup is incredible. Nancy says the soup is incredible. It is. And by the way, even in the summer, put it in the freezer in little, bags or glass bowls, whatever it is, and just eat it because it is so full of energy with the food. So I love that soup. And the reason that, Terry Walls, the whole story and how I made that soup for her and it just became kind of an iconic soup. It's still around. You can still make it. Highly suggest it. So what I want to suggest today is that we can upgrade our mitochondria. Instead of them being sluggish and not doing a really great job and missing a beat every once in a while, we can put the pedal to the metal and create energy for them. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a couple of things. They're fast, they're fun, 5 of them. So if you're taking notes, great. Otherwise, they're going to be in tomorrow's notes in your email. Or if you want to do notes in your journal, just do it. So here's a couple of things. When you're sitting there and you're feeling like a slug and you're sitting on your butt and you're saying, I'm just so, I just want to lay down. I want to take a nap. I just want to do something. Do the exact opposite. It's really easy. All you need to do is to get up, do like 10 air squats, just boom, boom, drop it like it's hot, make that butt fall down, come on back up. You can do a 4-minute workout. Dr. Zach Bush's 4-minute workout. That's a good one. You can do jumping jacks. You can put music on and dance like nobody's watching. And sometimes we pray to God that nobody's watching, right? But when you do this, your brain produces norepinephrine and dopamine. And guess what? That's natural boosting neurotransmitters that gets you up and going. And boom, it feeds your mitochondria. Your mitochondria is fed with more than just the soup and more than just the oxygen. It's also your mindset. Your mindset is a part of this. And you're switching on a different switch and telling your brain, we're going a different direction. This is one of the biggest things that you can do. And I can't even tell you how many times I have done this when it's like, oh, I've had it. I don't have anything left in this day. This is not true. This is what research would call a microburst of activity. And that microburst of activity actually changes your body's chemistry. Remember, we are just big bags of fleshy chemicals, right? Inside these human bags that we are all these chemicals. And we can turn the switch off or we can flick the switch on. And this is what we're talking about because this will increase the mitochondrial output. This will help improve cognitive energy. This does the trick. It brings you back. It's sort of like a big splash of cold water. So that's number one, is to do the opposite of what tired is. Number two is sunlight. This is also mitochondrial fuel. When you go out into the sunlight, did you know that it helps to set your circadian clock? This is why I'm such a B word when it comes to sleep. This is why I'm always saying respect your mitochondria, honor it, or your circadian clock, honor it, and go to bed at a decent hour. Am I right, Tanya? Love my Tanya. But did you see her sleep last night? Good grief, she got some sleep. It changes everything. It changes the way you feel. And when you get out first thing in the morning, when the sun is just starting to come up and it's 10, and spend like 10 minutes in there, the sunlight signals to your eyes and goes in and talks to your brain and says, okay, cortisol now would be good. We don't want cortisol at night. It's not that we need to have cortisol. Cortisol kind of keeps things going. We just don't want to be living off of cortisol, right? Because that's the fight or flight, but we need a little bit of it mixed into our life. This is how we also boost our serotonin levels. And it also says to your mitochondria, wake up. The kitchen's open. The body is ready. And now we have the opportunity to go. And your mitochondria, they have switches too. So you flip, there goes the switch. And I will also say the bonus that comes with this is that morning activity, that early morning activity of getting outside and into the sun. I do this every morning with taking Lincoln out for just a very quick pee walk. It's nothing major. 10 minutes would be ideal, but I don't do it. But the whole point of it is that this is also going to improve your sleep quality. And that is sort of an overnight energy reset button as well. So cool beans, right? Isn't it? We love our sleep. Number three is your protein needs to be jacked up, girlfriends. Listen, boy, if I had this discussion so many times, you wouldn't even believe. I've had it on the pickleball courts. I've had it with vegetarians and vegans. I have had it with women who are just thinking, well, I eat more vegetables than I do protein, as if this is a badge of honor. It's not. Our protein needs as we get older are absolutely 100% critical. And if you don't believe me, go ask your mitochondria, because your mitochondria are going to say, you know what? We're just going to crash and burn here. We're not going to give you the sustained energy that you want because you haven't given us what we need. So we need to ditch the carb heavy breakfast. Believe it or not, oatmeal is not the best thing in the whole entire world. Now, I make a super oatmeal in the winter months when I'm playing out in 20-degree temperature, when I'm playing, I play pickleball like 5 or 6 times a week. And it's not a picnic. It is hard, laborious work. It is a workout. And I need something to hold me. So I make mine. I use collagen and protein powder. I use chia seeds and I use steel cut oats. And it's a whole process. Okay. It is a whole process. But I'm going to tell you that if you start your day with at least 30 grams of protein, you can stabilize your blood sugar, you can reduce cravings, and you can prevent the crash that happens later on. Oatmeal, it won't hold you. It's just not meant to do that. And there's a lot of people out there that are just like, oh, but it's so heart healthy. Okay, well, let's go to the next thing. Protein is a woman's best friend. Jack it up. 30 grams bare minimum. I go with 50, honestly, because I've got 2 scoops of collagen. I do a vanilla and I do a chocolate. And Then I also sometimes I will add a scoop of whey protein. My goodness, look who just walked in, y'all. It's Lynn. Lynn's in the house. Hey, Lynn, our personal trainer. She's going to help us. She's going to help us keep that. She knows all about protein too. She's helping older women just like I am. That protein, remember something here too, as you're developing your muscle, that muscle is your armor for your bones. And we all want strong bones. That is our key to being strong, to being healthy, to feeling good, right? Nobody wants to fall. Nobody wants that kind of a thing. And the other thing is that protein increases dopamine. It supports lean muscle, right? And that means you get more mitochondria, which means you get more energy. That's what this is. We want to build muscle. You will not look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What muscle does is it fills in and pushes the fat out, so to speak. And then if you're working, that fat's going to fall off. Trish! I love my Trish. Here she is. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. It is essential. Protein is essential. Just what Lynn said. It is just absolutely everything. And I will tell you that if you are in the place where you're just like, oh man, I'm so hungry and I just want to go snack on some crackers or whatever it is, don't do it. You know what I just did? I opened a can of sardines. And then I was kind of gagging on them for a little while, but it did the trick. I gave the rest to Lincoln. But it did the trick. I got my omega-3 fatty acids and I got a ton of protein in there. It's important. We've got to do this. Noreen, for heaven's sakes, we're having an old friends club here. Noreen, it's really good to see you. And Catherine's your official greeter, by the way. She's here just giving everybody the hand wave. The other thing that we can do, this is also when you're stressed out, right? Lynn, the sardines too is the Wild Planet sardines. You can get them. Where's the best place to get? I've seen them at Costco, the cheapest, and I buy them in a little box. And they're in good quality olive oil. Everything about it's top notch. That's why I like them so well. Isn't it fun to have everybody here? We're having a good time. Anyway, so the other thing, I want to just get this whole thing in here. Energy also needs to have stress removed. When you are stressed out, it's an energy suck. So one of the ways to beat down that stress is to get your energy going with box breathing. I love box breathing. I love it. It's breathe in for 4. You do use through your nose, by the way. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold that for 4. It also helps you with sleep. Of course it is. It's a Navy SEAL technique, of course, and it's super helpful. And I also would tell you that this is your number one way to calm your nervous system. Boy, oh boy, do we need that or what? When we're doing this too, we're also going to lower our cortisol because yes, we want to wake it up, but we also don't want to go to bed with it. We want it to naturally lower. That's what the box breathing does. And it redirects energy from stress mode into creative energy mode. And this is something that we all need. Now that's number 4. Number 5, if I can find it, is to ask better questions. You know what I mean? All right. This is really important because you know what happens to us when we ask poor questions? We get bad answers. So instead of, why am I tired all the time? Or what would give me, why am I so tired? And boy, I'm just all the time, I just feel blah, blah, blah. We're reinforcing all of this lack of energy stuff. Instead, if we think about it, and we ask a question that's going to seek out a solution, what would give me more energy right now? And intelligent question, right? Not like, oh, a candy bar and some coffee would, or I'll just go rattle around in the pantry and go eat some, crappy crackers. We ask these questions from the perspective of what is the thing that provides the energy? How do I wake up my mitochondria? How do I feed them better? How do I provide them more energy? Then that is a mindset shift right there. It is a mindset shift because it now puts you into the problem solving mode. And problem solving mode doesn't shut the door to possibilities, it opens it. It gives us an opportunity to start thinking about other things rather than, the self blame echo chamber that we all fall into like, oh, woe is me. And why don't I have enough energy? And how is this happening? And oh, I can't. And then all of a sudden, it's the slide down. We all know, we've all done it. So while I say energy is a lot physical, it certainly is because we feel it in our physicality, it is also a mindset. And that should be liberating. Because when you learn to generate energy on purpose, everything changes. Everything changes. You see your mitochondria a little bit different. Do you know, in my head, I see my mitochondria. Now, I don't see it exactly the way that a slide would show you, like, here's the mitochondria. Terry Well's book, Minding Your Mitochondria, which is a self-published book that she did years and years ago. If you've seen it, it's purple cover, and there's little pictures of mitochondria all over it. I don't see that. What I see is a cell, and inside I see this little engine that could. And in my mind, I want to make sure that I'm feeding it, I'm talking to it, I'm giving it rest. I'm doing everything that I can. I am basically training my mitochondria, babying and loving my mitochondria like a child because I know it's all about the mitochondria. So if we know that, we're going to show up differently. And instead of asking the question, answering the question, what would give me energy right now, and saying, coffee and a candy bar, we're going to start thinking in terms of, you know what, I haven't had enough protein today. You know what I really need is to just, I need to do 20 air squats, or I'm going to do a 4-minute workout, or you know what, I'm dehydrated. I need some water. It's another thing. So we show up differently. We speak differently because we feel different on the inside, and we're honoring and seeing our body for the wondrous mechanism that it is. Right. And that's giving yourself way. So here's a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to just say this. I want you to take a good look at Take Back your energy course if you haven't yet, because it's an 8-week self-led course and it has a ton of information on how to really